Hello, everyone. My name is Wajiro Moreithi, and welcome to Conversations with Wanjiro. On this channel, my task is to take you on a journey between all the food, beverage brands in Nairobi, East Africa, and the world. Today, we are here in the lovely location of Carnivore, Nairobi. I don't know about you, but there was two ways you'd have gotten to Carnivore in my youth. Either on the restaurant side, where there was a beast of a feast with the iconic diverse menu that had game meat at some point. I don't think it's there anymore. Or across at Simbangoma for Rock Night, Soul Night, Simbangoma, I think New Jack Swing, and all that stuff. I knew I had to be here before 9 p.m. because that's when it was free. But it was good times all again. I am so privileged today to be meeting with Chef Gabriel Ngugi, who is the head group chef of the Tamarind Group. Carnivore is, of course, part of the Tamarind Group, and he'll take us along his journey and give us all the juicy details of what it takes to be a chef, not just in Kenya today, I guess anywhere in the world. Thank you so much, Chef.
Thank you very much. And yes, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, and looking forward to this conversation and this interview that we're going to have. Yeah.
Long overdue, right?
Long overdue.
We've been hearing about this for a long time.
Yes.
And I'm so sorry, today we had to pluck you from your team building where you're having fun in the sun, jumping and all that. I almost didn't recognize you.
Yes. No, thank you very much. Thank you for taking your time. Thank you for coming along. And yes, I'm here for you now.
Okay.
Yes.
No, great.
Yes.
We met, I think, maybe about 7 years ago.
Yes.
It wasn't at Carnivore though.
Yes.
I think we were out at Dhow. It actually had
correct.
a Thai restaurant called Soy.
Soy, correct.
So chefs don't cheat on their cooking.
No, we don't cheat. But like any chef or anybody who has a passion for food or drink or entertainment, I believe one of the things you must do is be able to visit and frequent other establishments.
Yeah.
Just to see what's going on and also to keep in touch with the trends and what's happening. And I think it's a fun way to also enjoy yourselves, have a good time.
I can tell you about it because every time we go out somewhere, everybody turns to me like, what wine are we drinking? Yeah. And I have to tell them I'm not working today.
Yeah.
So I can imagine as a chef, people want you to order their food.
Tell me about it. Everyone goes, what shall I order on the menu? Whoever you're out with, what shall I order on the menu? It's like, I don't even know what's on the menu. We've got to try it. Let's sample. And that's the beauty of life, is when you go to places where you're enjoying yourselves, you should be free to, there's always the old favorites and everything.
Yes.
But you should be able to sample different things and share. And share. This is, at the end of the day, it's about sharing the memories and the good times.
And the good times, exactly. And of course, you have hits and misses.
Correct.
But the good times are always memorable.
Correct.
That's why I remember the day we met, actually.
Correct. Yeah.
But then, did you always want to be a chef? I mean, I have two chefs. We have two chefs in our household.
Wow. Yes.
My sister, Utali, educated and trained, but then she moved on to do now food audits.
Correct. Yeah.
But my niece recently graduated as well as a chef.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, did I always want to be a chef? Wow. Many things I wanted to be. But, okay, number one. One of my first loves, and it's always been, it still is one of my biggest loves, is I love sports.
Okay, lovely.
So I've always been like sporty. So in school, of course, you always dream and think, I'll be the best player, I'll be the best this, I'll be the best at swimming. And of course, you grow up knowing that that's what you want to do, but then you quickly learn that you have to train a lot and do all this kind of thing. And so I enjoyed it and I still enjoy it, but not as competitive. So to go back to, what I wanted to be when I grew up, apart from my love of sports, was I knew I loved food. So one of the things was I knew where do you get food? It's always in a hotel. So what happens when you go to a hotel? Who's like the most important person in a hotel? It's always the general manager.
The general manager, yeah.
He walks around, everyone is giving him attention, briefing him. He knows everybody. He's meeting all the guests. He's walking around. He just looked like the most popular and person in the world, and so important. The other one, of course, if you're traveling, how do you travel to different destinations, especially if it's across different countries? So definitely for me, it was a pilot. So that was the other second thing I always grew up, wanting to be, is like a pilot. I used to think they were so cool, walking around.
Yeah, stripes.
They never queue, they're just walking past the airport, like, they own the airport. And of course, they're flying the plane.
Yes,
So, you know,
yes.
growing up as a child, you thought that was really cool. And, you know, finally, it was just a farmer.
Okay.
Because we know, like, I don't know, I love food. I've always loved food. I always loved eating food as a child. And I remember, you know, every time we went home to the farm,
Yeah.
the food was always different from what we used to have in town or at home. You know, the chicken would be, you know, slaughtered there. You know, you'd have it live. It just tasted so much different. The greens there tasted different. The fruits were always amazing. So yeah, I thought farmer is another cool thing because you have everything you need.
Yeah.
Everything you need, yeah.
So you didn't grow up on the farm, you used to.
I didn't grow up in the farm.
Yes.
Every now and again, would, you know, go
You
to the
used to
farm.
go to the farm,
and,
yeah.
But the food just tasted always great.
The food and looked different. I remember
different, yeah.
I remember the egg yolks were dark yellow.
Dark yellow, bright, completely, yes.
Dark yellow. But
Yeah.
now that you've talked about tasting different, okay,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna
That's
come
fine.
back to you.
Yeah.
I lived in Canada for a bit.
Yes.
And of course, you know, American food
Yes.
is not
Yes.
Kenya, I mean African food, right?
Yes.
There's a day someone brought Kenyeji chicken from a farm.
Yes.
And you know, and then they cooked it. And you
Yeah.
know that smell?
Yes.
I tell you,
correct.
I was in tears.
Correct, yeah.
And I could not explain to anybody. I was in tears
Yeah.
because that smell takes you so much back, right?
Correct.
And yes, they had everything. You know, they hadn't cut it up. The feet
It
were
had
there.
the feet.
The head was there, everything.
correct,
but I
correct,
enjoyed
yeah.
that meal, and it was so nostalgic. But definitely then
Unforgettable.
unforgettable experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I mean, like I said, everybody has those moments of when was your first
Yeah.
whatever, and we'll come back to your first carnival moment.
Sure.
So, seeing that you're not a farmer or a pilot, I'm sure you're on your way to GM, seeing that you're head chef. Watch this space.
Watch this space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, where did the chef journey begin? What changed the trajectory of that?
Actually, it was about the time I finished high school. I was fortunate enough that I went to the UK.
Okay, lovely.
So I went there to study hotel management. So I went to do obviously my diploma course. And I remember after my first year, one of, in fact, the teacher who used to do the practical cookery classes, Miss
Yeah.
Ross, I'll never forget.
Wow.
She actually pulled several of us, there was 3 of us, out of a class of 20, and said, you guys, you actually have a natural talent, and I think you can do this professionally.
Wow.
Now remember, this was in the early 90s. So it was just the beginning, I guess, of the culinary evolution where all these celebrity chefs were coming up, and a lot of chef-owned restaurants as well. So I think chefing at that time was the new thing at the time, and for her to identify that in us,
Wow.
that actually, I said to myself, okay, I don't enjoy housekeeping. I don't enjoy doing the laundry. I don't enjoy, you know, polishing cutlery and stuff, but I enjoy the kitchen.
The kitchen.
So when she said that, I remember the second year, that's when I went fully into just, the kitchen.
Wow.
And into the culinary journey itself, where now we were doing, basic preparations of everything. You've been taught how to, those knife skills, proper knife skills, cutting them into this shape, and all the terminology at the time.
Julienne versus cubes
and
versus
brunoise and chiffonade, and so I mean, it was that period where you even start talking fancy because you're saying these words which are all French.
Yeah.
It was very classical French training and background. So yeah, that's how I actually got into it, and then
Wow.
and to be honest, I've never looked back. And the truth be told, within the my culinary journey, it's actually brought me back, as you said from the beginning, back into management, where as you grow up, you then learn not just to cook and good food, and you learn different things like management and finances and costs and all these things. So it's a whole journey.
Actually, I was surprised today when you said, we have to be ready for service at a certain time. But I'm like, kazi yako ni ya ofisi now, really?
Yes,
It's purely
Yeah, it's more
administrative, yes.
And yes, and
But you
also a
still
lot of
enjoy being next to the fire.
Absolutely.
Any cuts on your fingers?
Loads of
any burns?
cuts and burns. I mean, my scars are my battle scars, which I'm very proud of, so I always show them off.
Okay.
Yeah, all chefs do. I believe chefs should always have short-sleeved jackets.
Okay.
Because you're always working.
Yeah.
And the ones with long sleeve, those are like the big bosses walking around, not really doing anything, but that's just me.
No, great.
Yeah.
So, after high school, into the diploma,
Yes.
you've graduated now. You found your specialty, let's say,
Yes.
in
Yes,
the kitchen.
correct, in the kitchen, yeah.
And then what happens? Right before we come back to Tamarind now.
Right before then, I was fortunate enough that at the time in the UK, there was also, you could, after you finished college, you could get a working holiday visa.
Okay.
Which was a 2-year visa, so carried on then. Worked in different establishments at the time. The hotel, I went down to Brighton. You know, Brighton also was quite, it's quite sentimental to me because my first attachment from college was in Brighton. So, you know, I spent some time there and worked around a few hotels in London. And then, just got a bit of experience before I came back. Yeah.
I like how you say a bit of experience and you're working in UK, one of the largest sort of culinary, markets.
Everything is a step. Everything is a journey. It's a step. It's a work in progress.
Okay.
So, you know, at the time, you think you know so much. And then, you know, you realize you only knew a little bit. And these things you realize later.
Later on.
This is why they say life is a journey.
No, true that.
Because that's why I said it was a bit of experience.
It was a bit of experience.
Yeah. As you go along the journey, you get more experience. On different things, on how to handle things differently.
Yeah.
The repercussions of things.
No, true.
Yeah. You learn so much about yourself and also what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have that in common. I think we're talking earlier. Brighton is a favorite place of mine.
Yeah.
I have my friend, my namesake Mercy, who lives in Brighton.
Yes.
She's been in the UK, I think, for as long as I've been back in Kenya. So maybe 12 years or so.
Excellent.
She used to be in Swindon before, which was a little town somewhere, but then she moved to Brighton. So I visited her, I think, twice, and I really like it, even with their Pebble Beach.
Yes.
Which they
yes,
have
the
so
famous
much.
Pebble Beach.
The Pebble Beach that, of course, cannot compare to any of our beaches, but
Yes, correct.
Brighton's a really cool place.
Yes, it's very vibrant.
I'm surprised you came back. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the other things, in every journey, you have to decide where you want to be. And one of the things I'd always had a preset mind was that I want to come back home eventually. And also to pass on my knowledge and my experiences, and bring up, the upcoming chefs and the upcoming people in the industry.
No, we love that.
Yeah.
But then before we get into how you got into the Tamarind Group,
yes,
what was your most memorable experience, I guess, in your work life or, I don't know, life in general in the UK? Or is there anything you miss? Do you like Marmite?
Yeah, I love Marmite. It's great for gravies.
It's great for gravies.
It's great for gravies. It's a nice base. It's it's quite tarty. It grows on you.
Okay,
let's just say it grows on you, and it's an acquired taste.
It's an acquired taste for sure. I brought one on my recent trips because I was like, this is quintessentially British.
Yeah.
And it's been sitting there ngevering.
Yeah.
I confirmed the other day this is expiring next year, so I'm sure we still have time. To figure out whether it's a marinade or it's
No, it's great. It's great in gravies and sauces.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice base for that. Yeah.
Super.
But it can be used in different ways.
Yeah. But then anything about the UK that stood out for you?
Oh.
Any famous people you served?
Oh, quite a few. One of the most. Wow. Let me start with that, I guess. One of the most famous people I served was Eric Clapton.
Okay. Not ringing a bell. Is that an actor?
He's a musician.
A musician, okay.
He's a musician. One of the Beatles.
No.
Yes.
You served the Beatles.
Yes, I've served the Beatle. That was quite exciting.
Oh, that is iconic.
I've been part of a catering team whilst the England football team was playing.
Oh, lovely.
This was at the old Wembley.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was in the early 90s. Let me tell you, one of my favorite things for the UK is the restaurants.
Okay.
They have amazing restaurants. I've been fortunate enough to dine in a few.
Okay.
I've been able to dine at Ramsay's, one of Ramsay's restaurants, Gordon Ramsay's, the Bronx Brothers.
Okay, I've heard that one. Okay.
Restaurant. So the canteen, which was a restaurant that was Marco Pierre White and Michael Caine.
Okay.
So yeah, Oxo. I've been at the Oxo Tower.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to get some notes for my next trip.
No, absolutely. But this one, I don't know if some of the restaurants are still there, but this
Something
was
close
something
enough.
close.
Yeah.
Like I said, those are the things you miss. Accessibility to these things.
Yeah.
Where you can literally eat anywhere. You can have the most amazing ingredients.
Yeah.
Not saying that we don't have them here. I don't miss the weather that much. Although I don't mind the winter. You've been there a few years. You learn to appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, different things. Different things.
No, awesome. And we love you for it. We'd be lovely that you came back because we wouldn't be having this interview even.
Asante sana.
Yeah, so the Tamarind Group, of course, very iconic establishment and name within the Kenyan market.
Yes, indeed.
Tourism. I mean, even just today,
Yes.
you walk in
As you came
anytime,
in,
there are all the
yes.
tour cars,
Yes.
whether it's here or
Yes.
any of the other branches as well.
Yes,
I
correct.
know now you've grown into other, what do you call them, units?
Yes.
Or restaurants,
We've
or whatever
expanded.
it is, you've expanded,
We've
right?
expanded,
But
yeah.
then, I mean, and my association with Tamarind is actually very, as old as my business.
Okay.
And as old as my wine journey.
Yes.
Because this was one of the only places, I think, where you could get like top-notch wines.
Yes.
I think even the Niederberg wine auction.
Yes.
It was just the Tamarind Group that used to go, Serena that used
Yes.
to go, and I think one other company, right?
Yes.
So in fact, hence my asking, are there any auction wines still in the menu? But I guess
It's been a while.
it's been a while. But
Yes.
really, this was a wine destination, and I'm sure perhaps most of people who sell wine
Yes.
die for this listing, right? But anyway, wine aside,
Yes.
how did you get into Tamarind? And then Carnivore specifically, which is where we are today.
To be honest, the Tamarind Group and Carnivore and the group of restaurants is the only company I've ever worked for
Since you came back.
since I came back.
Talk about loyalty.
So it's been, thank you. It's now,
drink to that.
Drink to that. Yeah, cheers. Yeah, thank you. Cheers. So yeah, that's, it's now with the group, I've been over 20 years.
Wow.
Over 20 years, my journey started off at Tamambo,
Okay.
which used to be a brasserie, a Tamambo restaurant in Westlands.
Oh, Westlands at the mall.
At the mall?
At the mall, yes.
Yes.
I'd even forgotten about that one.
Why I'm very proud of that Tamambo is because it was one of the first restaurants that we used to have a journey through Africa menu.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
So we had dishes from Morocco, which was our lamb tagine. We had Zanzibari, samaki wa nazi.
Wow.
We had all this type of different dishes, West African dishes, and all these kind of things. So I was really proud of that.
Yeah.
It was a very vibrant place. I remember. I think
No, I do, yes. Actually, is it the first floor?
it was on the first
Next
floor.
to Handy or
Next
something.
opposite
Yeah.
Handy.
Opposite
Correct.
Handy, yes,
That's
yes.
the one. And literally that's why it opened up my journey with the Tamarind Group. And then I remember from there I moved to Mombasa,
Okay, wow.
Tamarind Mombasa. I think I was there for a couple of years. After that, I came to Carnivore.
Okay.
Came to Carnivore for a few years, couple of years. Then, in between that, I went back to Mombasa again. And then from Mombasa, we got a great opportunity where we had a partnership and a collaboration with some investors and gave us a chance to go open up a franchise in Egypt.
Egypt, wow.
Yeah, in
I've never
Cairo.
heard of that one, yeah. Wow.
It came at the time where, by the time we had set it up, where we'd been there for like 8 months, just before the opening and things like that, is when there was a revolution there.
Oh, yeah,
And
the
that's
Arab, was it called the Arab Rising? There was
Yes.
something, something
Yes.
spring, yeah, the Arab
So
Spring.
it didn't carry on, but we.
Okay.
So coming back is when
Wow.
I came back and then opened up Karen Blixen, Tamambo at Karen
yes.
Blixen. So that's when we took that there, and in between, we've had at Tamambo as well at Village Market.
Oh, as well, okay.
Yeah, a few years back that was there, and now we've expanded to as you rightfully said, smaller units like we're part of. We do the F&B at Kengeles
Yes.
in
okay.
Lavington.
Yeah.
We now have the roast at the Hub.
At the Hub, yes.
We have the roast at Tattoo City.
Tattoo City, yes.
Yeah, so
And then the tamarind tree.
the tamarind tree, the last baby, one of the last babies came along, but that's in partnership with the other group
Other
of there,
people, yeah.
other people as
But
well.
then there was also another tamarind somewhere. Okay, was it Gashie or Rosalind? There was another.
Oh, that was a different.
There was something else that was coming up
Yes,
that didn't
that
quite
was
come.
that was a different project
Okay.
that it didn't quite finalize and
Okay.
materialize.
Sure.
But that was more like apartments and
Apartments.
stuff. Yes.
Okay, so sort of.
Something similar to what we have at the Tamarind Village.
Okay.
Yes.
No,
it
love
also had
it.
different investors who.
Yeah. I mean, the longevity of the business for that
Yes,
long and
yes.
still having this kind of name in the industry
correct.
and stuff like that, very, very iconic.
Yeah.
Now, head chef means what? Like how big is your team? Because if you're the group head chef,
Yes.
it's all these places.
It's all these places.
And all these places have a team of X number of chefs. I don't know.
Yes.
Here, of course, when you walk into Carnivore, the first thing you see
Yes.
is, do I call it a caldron or
The massive grill.
the massive grill?
The
I don't
choma
know
pit.
How many people are there, right?
Yeah.
And that's just one part of Carnivore.
Yes. No, it's overall it's a big team. I would say it's about 100 to 150 chefs
Wow.
are across the groups because there are different people who do different things.
Different things, yeah.
Okay, I'm fortunate enough that I've worked in all of them. So of course I understand how the business works and how we operate in all these different places. I do a lot of training, so it involves, what my position involves is a lot of training. One of the things I'm very proud of that we do, and I found that was being done by one of our directors, our director of kitchen operations, is the apprentice program.
Okay.
We've always had a culinary apprentice program, which has again been running for about close to over 20 years.
Wow.
So it involves training where you take young chefs where they spend 3 months in each unit, learning the operations there.
Yes.
The procurement, the preparation of everything, how you serve the food and everything.
Yeah.
So we're really proud of that. That's one of the things I'm really involved in. We're involved in the outside catering. We've built a name and a reputation, especially at Carnivore.
Yeah.
Though we do caterings with all our establishments. So I'm heavily involved with the outside catering because obviously all the other units can run on their own. So anytime they need all these logistics of how to do the caterings, I completely get involved. Yeah. So there's a lot to do.
There's a lot to do.
There's a lot to do.
Okay. So for the not the untrained chef eye, right?
Yes.
Okay, we have pastry chefs. So is it so chef?
Sous chef. The terminologies.
Sous chef.
Yes.
I don't know. There's of course executive chef.
Yes.
But then now your I think your specialty is heavily meat.
Yes.
Across the units.
Yes, across our units, we're known for
and of
nyama.
course now
And then for
the seafood.
Yes, and that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
For especially Tamarind, Mombasa, and Brasserie, we do offer seafood.
Okay.
And that's because we get the seafood from Mombasa.
Exactly.
So again, handling of the seafood,
The
and things
seafood
like
and
that.
stuff, yeah. The Dhow is really special.
Yes,
Yeah,
we have
I'm
the
glad
Dhows.
it's still operating,
Yes,
right?
we have 2 Dhows, which are still very popular with the Qaeda customers, even for events. People now
Yes.
hire it out for events. So yeah, we're really proud and we're happy for that.
Yeah, it was one of the things. I think
To-do lists.
One of the things to do list. I wouldn't call myself a foodie, but I knew.
Yeah.
Of course, the beast of a feast. There was a tamarind Dhow.
Yes.
There was a tamarind Nairobi.
Yes.
Then, of course, the dancing, and now, the other places as well. I mean, of course, Nairobi scene, Kenyan scene has exploded with different ideas.
It's exploded.
But then it's still, I think there's a lot of tamarind offerings that are still sort of top on people's list to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you mentioned one there, Tamarind Nairobi. It was unfortunate that we had to move from that location, especially after the bomb blast. You remember that happened?
It was 98.
It was right. We were right next to it.
Yeah.
So it just everything was completely covered with dust and everything. So there are reasons as to why we moved away from that and then trying to rebuild it. And the way town has changed and Nairobi has expanded as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's completely expanded now. So you can go anywhere in the city. You don't have to, particularly drive to one place.
So you don't have to,
Everywhere around you, there's somewhere to go.
There's somewhere to go,
Yeah.
And I mean, I do miss Tamambo, Karen. Of course, you were in Dixon and have now moved into a different location.
Yes, different location.
That was like my local. And of course, even, was it a sports bar or was it just that there was a big screen there?
It's just a big screen there.
So watching all sorts, whether it's the athletics, like now Chicago Marathon yesterday.
Correct, exactly.
Or
the tennis.
Or tennis or whatever. It was a sport to be, and it was quite chill, even for that location, right?
Correct,
of course, we would expect it to be much more expensive.
Yeah.
But we're glad that it's still within.
Absolutely.
Across the road.
Yes.
I don't want to call it by its former name. You call it the Brasserie now, right?
Brasserie,
I still call it by the other name. Ile Daria Tamarind.
Yes.
Awesome. So 20 years, that's quite something.
Yes.
Yeah. What's special about this place that has kept you here that long? Clearly, you have the passion for, of course, the development programs, the training, and all that. But the employer has to be really good also to keep you.
I will say one thing, and that's why I talked about earlier about I had little experience then. I totally believe if you're somewhere where you have an opportunity to grow, and you're also trained, you must take advantage.
You must take advantage of it,
Yes, and where you're given your freedom to express yourself, obviously. That, and it's all about teamwork.
True.
Yeah. So when you get these opportunities where you're being taught what you don't know, and generally people want you to grow.
Yeah.
Why would you want to leave that place?
Exactly. True.
So for me, I must say I'm very happy. I have gotten so many opportunities. I've gotten loads of training, even in wine.
Exactly.
In wine training, which I didn't have before. So yeah, I suppose that's what's kept me. And like anything else, you give back.
Give back. No, true. True that. Yeah. I was actually surprised. I think is it 2 years ago when both you and Chef John.
Yes.
Were in the class and stayed the whole day because that class session, we typically pitch it for service people.
Correct.
But you insisted.
Yes.
And that was really, really cool.
Yes.
But over and above that, I agree. Tamarind Group has been one of the ones who have supported training in many ways.
Yes.
Of course, the annual Wines of South Africa training we do.
Yes.
But also the Wines and Spirits Education Trust. I think the Tamarind Group has been a company that has set a large number of people.
Yes.
So we do understand that indeed there's a way for that. And you're also home for a lot of the wine pairing dinners as well.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
All the days from the auction days,
correct,
some of which I missed.
Correct. Yeah.
But even, when Tamarind Nairobi moved to Karen, I know there was a few events we attended there as well.
Correct.
And hopefully many more
to come.
Across the board. In fact, we need to talk about one before the end of this year also.
Yeah, sure.
So that's really, really good. Yeah. Is there any particular wine you love? I know today I had that through you. I said, it's Pinotage month. So we had to get the Pinotage that you have in stock because Pinotage is an African grape variety.
No, I don't mind that. Yeah? I think a Pinotage are usually very complex.
Yeah.
But I'm a Malbec person.
You're a Malbec guy.
Yeah.
You like more mellow things.
Mellow. Yeah.
Okay. So is it safe to ask you what's your favorite food then?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you cook at home?
I do cook at home. I do cook at home voluntary, but I'm also made to cook because everyone likes being a chef.
Exactly.
It's one of the things you'll always get.
Yeah.
Visit mom, it's like, what are you cooking for us? Visit anybody, my friends, family, they're always like, so what are you cooking for us?
Yeah.
No, you get used to it. And yes, we do cook at home.
Mm-hmm. But then what's
my all-time favorite food or dish has got to be chicken pilau.
Yeah.
I love that. My mom has made it for years. It's always been my favorite.
Okay.
With a nice kachumbari, which has got a bit of chili.
Love it. Chili not from Umbali, chili strong.
To be precise, the habanero chilies.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Scotch bonnet.
Okay.
I love the flavor of that.
Wow.
There's a way you can make it a little bit mild, add a bit of acid from the lemon or vinegar.
Love it.
Down, but I just love the flavor.
Okay.
It is my all-time
favorite. So your chicken pilau, that's what you like.
Chicken pilau, yes.
Yeah. Is there when I watch these shows is it Iron Chef?
Yes.
I don't know, Master Chef. And I know you guys are even having an internal competition.
Inter-unit competition going on at the moment.
Yeah. And they typically ask people, what is that one signature dish that changed your life or something? So I guess perhaps you're made to create dishes sometimes.
Yes.
We know Carnivore is the home of Dhow.
Yes.
There is no other person who can claim that. But then food-wise,
I love seafood.
You love seafood, okay.
I love nyama, but I love seafood.
Sure.
So we have a dish on our menu. It's called seafood lasca.
Seafood lasca.
Yes.
L-A-S-K-A.
K-A. And previously we used to have a seafood bolognese.
Okay.
That combination of properly cooked seafood with a light coconut fragrant sauce with a bit of spice, I think
that is it. Nothing beats that.
Nothing
yeah,
beats that.
Love it. Okay,
Nothing beats
so that's what is there.
Yeah.
Will there be a lot of that made tomorrow?
I'll invite you the next time we're doing that.
Okay,
For sure.
Saved by the bell. Yeah, so we'll
sure.
be Tamarind tomorrow. Okay,
sure.
But then, so what would you advise? I guess the young chefs coming up. There's a lot of people doing. There's all these Instagram chefs.
Correct.
Some of whom I follow, right?
Yes.
And of course, all those things you say. Sometimes I'm just, I don't see them cutting things properly, then I get turned off. Then I don't, But then, of course, there's people with precision and making all sorts of things. Like I said, there's all these shows on TV. There's a celebrity chefs and all that stuff. What is the opportunity for people? Because if there are already 150 chefs here and I'm starting to be a chef, where do I expect to work? And perhaps even to ask about women in the industry.
No, okay, that's a good question. Let me start off by saying we have, I think it's a 50-50 split.
No way.
In
across the board.
Across the board. In our units, I'm all for empowering women. I think they're usually very articulate. So it's natural that with what we do, a lot of articulation and finesse comes in.
Yeah.
But just going back to the opportunities are so many. As we said, we're in such a vibrant place in time, where I think there's all sorts of pop-ups coming up. There's all sorts of fast food joints coming up. There's so many cafes coming up. There's so many type of restaurants coming up. So much is happening everywhere. There's opportunities everywhere. Number two, everyone's looking for better opportunities. So as much as we know we do a lot of training, we don't retain all the people that we train. They get opportunities outside the country. Since COVID, we've seen a big influx of our expertise, especially in our industry, where people have been called to go abroad, Australia and places like that.
Cruise ships.
So things are really opening up. So I think there's opportunities are so many.
Yeah.
There should be no reason why you should be. I say that you should be no reason you should be out of employment. But again, like everything, people have to be ready, especially the young generation, the Gen Zs, to be ready to start somewhere.
That's true.
Everything is a journey. We've all been through a journey. The older we get, we say that now.
Yeah.
and if we look back,
we're not even halfway.
And
right?
we're not even halfway. Yeah. If you look back, even then I was thinking exactly like the Gen Zs saying, why don't I have that big job? But now I know I didn't have all the skills. I didn't have all the knowledge. I didn't have all the information. So you've got to understand and persevere in what you're doing. Concentrate and focus and sharpen your skills.
True.
Put yourself out there. We didn't have opportunities where we had videos and TikToks and all these kind of things. You can do something at home.
Exactly.
Put it on TikTok, and you have 1 million followers.
People ordering.
So opportunities, you just got to focus on what you're doing. Yeah, and I know the other problem with that is that, there's different lifestyles you want to live and blah, blah, blah. Focus on what you're doing.
We're doing exactly.
All those things will come.
No, true. Yeah. I mean, some of the people who inspire me the most, someone like, he calls himself the roaming chef, but the rugby player.
Yeah.
Why am I forgetting his name now? Ombachi. Yeah, sorry.
There's
Ombachi.
Ombachi. Yes.
And what I think I saw, is it today, he has like 1.4 million followers on Instagram alone. I don't know about TikTok and stuff.
Exactly.
But then again, if it was about credibility of cooking, he would be the last person on my list. If I had just met him, I'm a chef, I'd be like, yeah, right. I know you for rugby, right? But look at what he's been able to do. And even some simple people like, there's this lady, I think, Chapati Mistress. She makes every version of chapati that is possible to have. Okay, I'm a purist. I want classic chapatis. Like, don't mix even
This and that and
even
that.
brown flour. Kuna vile.
Yeah.
But like, pumpkin chapatis, carrot chapatis,
Absolutely.
minced meat chapatis.
Absolutely.
And her chapatis, the way people stack them, like they're all the same, like level, flat, nice, same size, everything. So, and of course, there's international people as well who you'll never meet, but you're just like, oh my God, what kind of food is this? So, I mean, it's amazing.
It's amazing. Opportunities are unlimited.
Unlimited, yeah. So, if you are not in Kenya, I mean, I know you've come back, and yes, this is home. You've had a great run for 20 years. But if you were not in Kenya, where would you be, in essence, in terms of taking your chef career? Where would it be if it wasn't here? I know this is where you're at, and we're happy, but
St. Lucia in the Caribbean.
Oh my word.
The sun. In the sun. At the beach.
At the beach. Okay.
Flip-flops.
Dreadlocks.
Enting.
All right. Have you
Eating seafood? No.
Yeah,
Not yet.
but
Not yet.
it's
Not
coming.
yet. Yeah.
We wish that
Fresh
for you.
seafood.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We wish that for you.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go back to one of your three things of the pilot, the farmer, and the GM.
No.
But you did none of that as well.
Yeah.
No, but then we're really, really happy in terms of that. But then how would you analyze the food scene in Nairobi? We talked about the opportunities for people, yes. But then how do you view everything that's happening in terms of the offering across the board?
I think
I mean, Westlands alone, I don't recognize anymore.
Yeah.
Because every corner there's a new, internationally branded hotel within this block and that block and that block.
No, it's very vibrant. It's forever changing. There's so many different cuisines going on.
Yeah.
I think to be honest, the days and the years of looking for 5-star or 7-star restaurants, I think that's gone.
That's gone. Okay.
It's become very casual, but just good food done really well, using the fresh ingredients. We have Peruvian restaurants, we have Indian restaurants, we have Jamaican restaurants, we have also Ghanaian restaurants. We have so many different types of restaurants, Japanese, Chinese, all sorts of restaurants around in Nairobi. So
and at all different price points.
At all different price points. So I think it's so vibrant. I think it's, eating out, is the thing to do nowadays. It really is the thing, because I don't think you'll finish all the restaurants in Nairobi.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, just even the niece I told you about.
Yeah.
When she was just about to graduate, I asked her to write to me where she'd want to work, just to understand what's hot and happening right now.
Yeah.
And of the 10 names on her list, I could only recognize 5.
Yeah.
And I'm in the industry.
Yeah.
And she's telling me this one.
Absolutely.
It's been open for 3 years. I'm like, where?
Absolutely.
I have no idea, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that I'm being challenged, right? To do that. I don't
dynamic.
go out as often as I used to, but I mean, I'm glad that there's differences. I'm happy to go out as long as my friends don't tell me to order the wine.
Yeah.
Here to make a to my invoice.
Correct.
But again, even the wine offering in many places has become
changed.
very decent.
Yeah.
There's people competing with your wine lists too.
Of course.
But I think, it's really, really great that people can come. And even I think in the region, we really do stand out.
Correct.
I love Tanzania. I've been doing a lot of work there. Yeah. But, when you think about the offering versus what is available in Nairobi, then there's a clear difference.
Yeah.
Even though their prices generally are lower than ours.
Yes.
If you think about Cape Town, that's a whole other world. That's a whole other world as well, in terms of that. And we hope perhaps some of these concepts will be brought back to the city. Yes. But thank you so much. We wish you well.
Asante sana.
20 years at Tamarind, of course. Your experience in the UK and Brighton and around the world, it can only get better.
Thank you very much.
We are grateful for your time.
Yes.
And this is part 1, right?
Correct.
We shall come back for part 2 and 3 and hear a lot more from you.
Absolutely.
Right? So I'm going to toast to the head chef of the Tamarind Group.
Asante sana.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
And there you have it. Karibu sana, and please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much. Goodbye.